Volume 2, The 9-5 Struggle. Chapter 1, Lee Haoran, Thousand Island Sea, on top of a large ship. Within the private room, Gu Hai sat cross-legged, his mind sinking into his brow. It wasn't until the sound of the package room that Gu Hai slowly opened his eyes and looked towards Gao Xianzi and Chen Chongchen, who walked in. "How is it?" "Don't worry, helmsman. Our ship is heading towards the 9-5 Islands with all our might." Gao Xianzi laughed. "But the time may be a bit long. It will take around 3 months. Chen Chongchen spoke. Gu Hai frowned slightly and nodded. "I hope there won't be any more mistakes." "Oh, helmsman, we're already safe now, or at most we'll have some trouble getting to the 9-5 Island. What else could go wrong?" Chen Chongchen said in disbelief. "That day, because I set up a cloud formation, guided the thoughts of a large number of cultivators, but as time passes, naturally, there will be smart people who realize this possibility of ours. 3 months on the sea. Ultimately, it's a bit too long. I hope nothing will happen." Gu Hai revealed a hint of worry and said, Chen Chongchen was slightly surprised. "Helm Master, most of them should be running towards the Golden Peach." "Helm Master's last one, why not then?" Gao Xianzi was a little worried. If Gu Hai ate the last peach in front of everyone, wouldn't there be less trouble? Gu Hai shook his head and said, "You don't understand. It's more precious just because it's the last one. This one is more precious than the previous 10. Because there is only one in the world, unique. Oh, it can attract people's hearts. That's a double-edged sword. Using it badly will hurt you, but what if you use it well?" Gu Hai said confidently. Gao Xianzi's expression twitched. Chen Chongchen also revealed bewilderment, obviously unable to guess what Gu Hai meant. Instead, Gu Hai shook his head without explaining. 10 days later, Chonyuan Island had been restored as before. There were still cultivators entering and exiting the heavenly remnant realm. And for Gu Hai's pursuit, those who were willing to go after him went. Those who weren't willing to go, naturally didn't go. Inside the innate remnant realm, boom. The great battle was still going on, but it had subsided a lot at this moment. The 100 lifespan peach was all gone, but there was still the 100 lifespan peach tree. Even if they couldn't grab the whole tree, if they grabbed a branch and brought it back to plant it slowly, could it work? There are still a lot of cultivators who do not die in the middle of the onslaught. However, at this moment, the 9th Prince led a large number of aboriginal cloud beasts, regained the initiative and occupied the 100 longevity peach tree. Roar! The 9-headed serpent let out a loud roar. The 1,000 cloud beasts behind him also let out a roar. The thousands of cloud beasts in the periphery gave a slight lurch. HMPH, gentlemen, it's time to calm down. The 100 longevity peach tree is not something that can be moved casually. Even if you guys snatch it back, it's useless, the 9th Duke shouted. "Why?" a crowd of cultivators said in disbelief. "Do you think that longevity plants can grow just by casually giving some soil and watering it?" the 9th Duke coldly said, as he stood on top of the Hydra's head. Many cultivators frowned slightly. "Look at the roots of the 100 longevity peach tree. It is inserted in the void, not in the soil. Even if you snatch it back, will you plant it? The nutrients it draws in, but the power of space and time. Its roots are planted in space and time. Even if you were given it, would you plant it?" the 9th Duke bellowed. The crowd looked over. It seemed to be true. You can't plant it even if you snatch it back, right? Some had already given up, but some were still unwilling. But so what if they weren't willing? Without the ancient sea's thousands of troops, now the 9 dukes to rectify the aborigines of this realm. A moment simply cannot be robbed of. The risk is too great, but the benefit is the moon in the water. The crowd hesitated for a while. The two parties were at a stalemate for a while. Boom! Right at this moment, a loud bang came from the distant exit. Ah, what a big flying boat! But it was a loud bang at the exit, and a large number of cultivators were knocked out. Rumble, slowly, 2 huge flying boats flew in from the exit. One Piece Hall is on business. Leave quickly. A loud shout came from one of the flying boats. However, it was Long Wanqing's White Cloud flying boat and the flying boat from the Divine Mechanism Battalion that had arrived. One Piece Hall. How come it's the One Piece Hall again? A sound of surprise came from all around. Above the flying boat, Long Wanqing had a hint of eagerness in her eyes. I don't know how well Meng Tai and Gu Hai have found them. Long Wanqing frowned. Fire helmsman Ding Rui frowned and said aloud, Meng Tai, where are you guys? Ding Rui's voice seemed like it had a penetrating power that resounded through the world in an instant. The surrounding cultivators, the 9 dukes high in the sky, everyone in the surroundings seemed to have all gone quiet, staring blankly at the 2 flying boats. Within that gaze, there was a tangle, a bewilderment, and a depression. Everyone watched oddly to the extreme. The flying boats flew higher and higher. Master Liu Nian gradually noticed the abnormality. Why does it feel a little off? How are all of them looking at us? 100 longevity peach tree. Cloud beasts. On top of another flying boat. Divine Mechanism Battalion Master Li Haoran was steeply raising his eyebrows. The news of the cloud beast was not a secret to them. The 100 longevity peach tree was also not a secret. However, regardless of heaven and earth, how did everyone look at their party with strange gazes? Meng Tai, still not coming out, Fire Helm Master Ding Rui said in a cold voice. The surroundings remained silent. In the jungle, at the mouth of a palace, the Grand Elder and the sickly young man walked out once again, followed by several black-clothed subordinates. Cough, cough, cough. One Piece Hall people. It's never ending. The sickly young man coughed and said. The Grand Elder nodded and took a deep breath, obviously also very uncomfortable. Above the 2 flying boats, Long Wanqing, Ding Rui, Master Liu Nian, and Li Haoran all noticed that something was wrong at this moment. How come the gazes of all the people around, whether they were aborigines or outsiders, were always strange? One Piece Hall again. What exactly do you guys want? Weren't the unborn already invited away by you guys? Why are they here again? The 9th prince's eyes glared steeply. Long Wanqing was slightly stunned. The unborn were invited away by us. One Piece Hall people. The old crone Ding Rui's eyes lit up. Looks like it's Meng Tai, finally doing something proper. And not far away, a cultivator on a cloud beast heard Ding Rui's words, and at this moment, his face twitched, becoming more and more odd. Master Liu Nian also saw the crowd's abnormality and immediately spoke to the cultivator not far away. This Taoist friend, I wonder what happened before we came. Can you see where my Yipin Hall disciples are? Can you see the ancient sea? Yeah, where did Meng Tai and the others go with the Unsheng people? And is Gu Hai dead? Ding Rui also asked. Gu Hai, the man said with an odd expression on his face. Oh, what happened to Gu Hai? Gu Hai killed all the disciples of the 1st grade hall, including Meng Tai. The man opened his mouth and said, Ding Rui, Long Wanqing, what are you babbling about? How could Gu Hai have killed Meng Tai as well as all the 1st grade hall disciples? Ding Rui's eyes glared in sudden disbelief. What am I lying to you guys for? I knew that Gu Hai was powerful from the start and never participated in their great battle. That Gu Hai is really powerful and is already the person I admire the most. That cultivator shouted at once. What great battle! Grandmaster Liu Nian was curious. That person said excitedly. What? Wait. Gu Hai fought tens of thousands by himself, forcing the Yiqiong Pavilion disciples and everyone else to not dare approach. Ding Rui was somewhat unable to keep up with that person's thinking. Of course, that Meng Tai really isn't something. In the end, he was killed by Gu Hai. It's really a big deal. Gu Hai is also a real man. For the sake of a small snake, the 100 longevity peach doesn't even pay for it too. Long Wanqing, Ding Rui, Master Liu Nian, Li Haoran, The crowd listened to the four directions of cultivators talk about everything that happened half a month ago. Long Wanqing and Master Liu Nian looked at each other in dismay. It seems that we are missing out on a lot. Master Liu Nian laughed bitterly. The Enshengren has found it. He has come out of the mountain. Great. Long Wanqing, however, had red eyes. Knew Wu, great brightness king god, not far away. Li Haoran raised his eyebrows slightly. Gu Hai killed Meng Tai. He's so bold. Ding Rui, however, said with a glare in her eyes. HMPH. A small person that Gu Hai didn't even bother to take care of. The ninth Duke already had a belly full of anger, but now he was even more depressed. One by one, the disciples of the One Piece Hall have no education and kill each other. No wonder your last generation Hallmaster was also killed. He deserved it, HMPH. The ninth Duke said with cold sarcasm. What did you say? You dare to say it again? Long Wanqing's eyes glared. Rumble. Above the flying boat, one by one, the disciples of the first grade hall immediately glared and drew their swords. I told you. How's that? It's deserved for the One Piece Hallmaster to be killed, the ninth Duke said in a cold voice. Swoosh, steeply a golden long sword shot towards the ninth Duke. The golden long arrow came out and tore the void, emitting a sharp sound of breaking wind, like a golden rainbow turning the eyes too. Weave through a large number of cloud beasts and reached the ninth Duke. What? The ninth Duke's face changed. Roar. The nine-headed snake let out a roar and steeply blocked it with a tail. Boom. The golden long arrow collided with it blatantly, and instantly, the Hydra's tail was pierced through a large hole, and the powerful backlash instantly reached the nine Duke's front part. A threat of great death instantly enveloped his entire body. No, no, the ninth Duke let out a cry of alarm. Clatter. All 8 snake heads blocked in front of himself. Boom. The golden arrow's back force was too fierce, piercing through the 8 snake heads in an instant. No. The ninth Duke let out a miserable cry. Boom. The ninth prince's head blatantly exploded. Hiss 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 hiss. There was a sound of huffing from countless cultivators in the 4 directions. That was the 9-headed serpent. An arrow pierced through 9 holes and even exploded the ninth Duke's head. Boom. The 9-headed serpent dispersed, and the ninth Duke's body slowly fell down from high in the sky. Everyone looked in the direction from which the golden long arrows had been shot, but they saw that on top of another flying boat, the man at the head wearing golden armor was grasping a pair of longbows in his hands, and his gaze was ice cold as he looked at the corpse of the ninth Duke that was falling from the high sky. With you also want to insult the first grade Hallmaster. Heh, the golden armored man, Li Haoran, let out a cold snort. He killed the ninth Duke. He killed the ninth Duke. The surrounding aborigines shrieked. Li Haoran, however, put away his longbow and coldly looked at the group of cloud beasts guarding outside the 100 longevity peach tree, coldly saying, the Game Heaven Pavilion. It has long since become the past. Set your positions. This world, not any one of you can be offended. If it wasn't for the sake of the old man of chess watching, just based on that sentence just now, I could have flattened your Yishin Pavilion. Humph. On the side, Long Wanqing saw Li Haoran taking the heat for himself, and instantly revealed a hint of a smile. Li Haoran looked at Long Wanqing and said, Wanqing, since we have the news, now let's think about the whereabouts of the Ensheng people, right? Long Wanqing's expression was solemn as she nodded and said, before my mother died, the last place she went to was the 9-5 Island. The unsurviving will definitely look for it. Let's go. Li Haoran nodded. Rumble. The 2 flying boats did not linger much and slowly flew out from the entrance. That shocking arrow. The countless cultivators who watched held their breath. Who is he? Who is that person? An arrow. The 9th Prince is dead. Divine Opportunity Battalion. I remember. It's Divine Opportunity Battalion. The battalion master of the Divine Mechanism Battalion, Li Haoran, What? Lee Haoran arrived in person. Countless cultivators revealed a look of surprise. The atmosphere of the innate remnant realm suddenly turned a lot weirder. The mouth of a palace. The Grand Elder watched the two flying boats leave and took a deep breath before suppressing the anger in his heart. Cough, cough, cough. The eyes of the sickly young man on the side narrowed slightly, revealing a cold smile. Lee Haoran of the Divine Mechanism Battalion. Oh, the 9-5 Islands. Grand Elder. I'll leave it to you to preside over the big picture here. I'd like to go to the 9-5 Islands to see what this group of them can do to actually talk big about leveling my Yichon Pavilion. The Grand Elder twisted his head to look at the sickly young man and said, "Are you sure you want to go to the 9-5 Islands?" That corpse. The Grand Elder pointed towards the falling corpse of the 9th Duke. That piece of trash, not enough to accomplish anything, but more than enough to fail. Feel free to bury it. I'll just find a new replacement. Cough, cough, cough. The sickly young man said in a deep voice. All right, 9th Prince, be careful on this journey. The Grand Elder nodded.